Hello, hello, and welcome to Bla Bla Black Sheep, a weekly yarny podcast where I, Sarah Korth of SEK Handmade, answer your yarny questions. Welcome. I am so glad you are here. If you watched last week, you know that I was away for a while. I was unsure of how long I would be away when I recorded last week's episode. I stayed in Arizona for about a week. I went there to help my brother who had a medical emergency and his family, and I am so happy to share that he is doing really well, and I was able to come back home. And my dad is still down there helping out. He had planned to be in Arizona for about a month anyways. He and my mom always went down, so he's there to help out, and I think things are going really well, which is fantastic. I may head down again at another point to help out, but we'll see. We'll see. Things are going really well. So, what am I gonna wear today? I'm going to wear something I haven't shown yet, which I don't know. Here's the thing. I said when I started this, I'm going to be casual. And I have been, and I like that a lot. But part of that is that I wear the same things that I tend to wear over and over again. I wear them on here over and over again. So I was thinking, what's something a little different? And I thought my Aveen scarf. I haven't shared this yet on here. It's a great pattern. It's just so pretty. Lots of texture. So you can see we've got some open texture and some puff stitches, which you gotta love. Gotta love the texture of the puff stitches. I designed this for a Crochet Foundry magazine. Yeah, I think so. Oh gosh. I watch Andrea Mowry's podcast, and her memory for her designs is impressive. And sometimes I just don't have that. So, anyways, I designed this for a Crochet Foundry magazine, and I decided they wanted a blanket scarf, which I'm notorious for designing blanket scarves for other people. My friend Ashley is like, why, Sarah, every time you do this? I'm like, I hate blankets. And she's like, a blanket scarf is pretty much just half a blanket. She's not wrong. So I have a wide version, and then a traditional scarf version. I was gonna get my wide version out, but this is just a little decorative ladder that I hang some of my items on, and this goes almost all the way to the ceiling, and the blanket scarf is at the very tippy top. I was like, I might have to get out a step stool. I was feeling very sorry for myself. So I have pretty pictures. I'll put a pretty picture up instead. But let's talk about how to wear a scarf. It is warming up again a bit here. So I don't necessarily need like a super duper warm. And you could certainly just like, lay it nice and open and have like the pretty color and the texture without the warmth. But one of my favorite things to do with this one is to put the end higher up, and then let's see, and then just wrap a couple times. Oh, I'm not making it. Try again. It has to be tighter. Okay. Wrap it around a couple times and cross it over so that this part is like really the showcase, and I can't just leave it like that. So what I do is then, and I'm even going to squish this down a little bit so it's not so high up around my neck. The solution to this is, of course, a shawl pin. So I'm going to leave this nice and flat, and I'm going to bring this over nice and flat, and then I'm going to put my shawl pin in, nope, I'm going to do it crooked, in there, and then that'll stay put. It's so fun. And then I'm just going to squish this down a little bit because I don't need it like super high up around my neck. This is great though for when, what are you doing there? When it's really cold outside and you can pull it up really nice and tight, and then it just stays up nice and tight around your neck. This was my mom's shawl pin, and it is by Jewel Designs. I'll put, there we go. I'll see if they're still around, and I'll put a link below if they are. Oh, and then Montana Crochet, one of a kind yarn or colorways. This is actually 3 skeins that were all one of a kind, but like were kind of close. You can see as they're like overlapped here that this is like a lighter and this is a darker, but I thought they went nicely together anyways, so I made them into one scarf. And then what else was I going to tell you? Oh, my version for, oh my gosh, words, Crochet Foundry was in conjunction with, collaboration with, I don't know, one of those things. We crochet, and so that one is made out of their DK gloss. I really enjoyed working with it. I have a few more balls. I have thought about, well, no, I'm not going to tell that story. It's too long and not that interesting. I have a few balls left in it, and I've been thinking I should make something else out of it because it's got great drape. Links to all of that down below. Tap the more, all the links. Okay, moving it up. What is bringing me joy? You guys, I'm going to say 2 things. And these are things that have brought me joy, maybe aren't currently. Anyways, you'll get it when I tell you what they are. Number 1, snuggling with my nephew. My friends, we do not get to see my brother's kids that often because they live in Arizona and we live in the upper Midwest. And so pretty much the only way to get there is by an airplane. And so we can't just like pop down the street or like take a weekend and go down there. So we don't get there as much. Also, the pandemic really mucked things up. We were getting down there regularly, and then pandemic. And so I don't get to see my brother's kids as often as I would like to. And so my brother's oldest is a boy, and he is 6 months younger than my youngest. And he and I, in the chaos of all of the stuff of my brother being in the hospital, and his wife works for the governor in Arizona, and so like she had to get some work done anyways. And of course things were incredibly hard for her. He and we became each other's people. We hung out together. We did homework together. We snuggled up. Oh my gosh, you guys, one night he leaned against me and fell asleep while we were reading. It was just my favorite. It was just so much fun to get to be so close to him. And you know me, I'm a boy mom, so bring me all the boys. Love the boys, love the rowdy, love the chaos. I mean, sort of. If I'm being honest, chaos is not my forte, but but boyness has become my forte, which I never thought I would say. And so I just loved so much spending time with him. And then the other thing that brought me so much joy while we were there, in the difficulty and chaos of all that my brother was going through, was trying new food. I decided that I was not walking to the parking ramp, getting in my car, driving someplace else to get food. I was going to try all the places that I could just walk to from the hospital. And you guys, we tried so much good food. I went first for my comfort zone, which was Mexican food, and had just the best tacos and street corn. I'm going to be craving that street corn. I got to find a good recipe for that. If you have a street corn recipe, send it my way. I need it. And then we tried a great sandwich place that had excellent desserts, little like bars and cookies and stuff. And then there was a Greek restaurant right across the street, and I have not eaten Greek food much, but I was like, it's just there. It's just right there. We got to just give it a try. And so we did, and oh my gosh, you guys, so good. It was delicious. It was delicious. So that brought me a lot of joy. Those things brought me a lot of joy while I was away. So let's talk small businesses. I've already mentioned Montana Crochet as the hand dyer of this yarn. Oh, I'm remembering I didn't grab something. I'll do that real quick in just a minute. The Jewel, J-U-L designs, for the shawl cuff. And then this weekend was my local yarn shop's 5-year anniversary. And for that, Sarah did all sorts of fun things, but one of the things she did was she had a little pop-up for a local artist, Adrian, and she is owner, I want to get this right because oh crud. Okay, sorry, I didn't type it. I think her name is one thing and her actual name is something else, so I don't want to give you the wrong information. And then I was like, oh dear, I definitely wrote it down wrong. But then I have her website. I was so prepared this week. I have her website there, and her website is the name of her business, very smartly. So Adrian's business is Mandrel Works Jewelry. You guys, she makes the most gorgeous jewelry. I've had these earrings. So one of the shop anniversaries a few years ago, Sarah had Adrian, and I got these. And then first of all, she and I chatted small business owning for a while, and it was lovely. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to buy anything this time. Her work is really pretty. And then I went home for lunch, and I was telling Brian, he said, how was the anniversary? And I was like, it was great. And she had Adrian there, and she had so much beautiful jewelry. And I don't know, I'm kind of regretting not buying anything. And he was like, Sarah, just go buy something. Support a local artist. If it's something you really want, just get it. And so I went back. Sam and Sarah were like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I must buy jewelry. So I got a pair of earrings, and I got this ring. This ring, the triangle one, which I thought was just simple and beautiful. And a pair of earrings. I'm not wearing the new pair of earrings because I'm still telling myself, which if you've been around, you know how bad I am at this, but I'm still currently telling myself that I'm saving those for Brian to give to me for my birthday, which means, I'll probably be wearing them in a week or two. Which he doesn't care. So go check out Adrian's gorgeous jewelry. She has a website. She is local. She's the real deal. She's so sweet. And then, oh, this is the thing I'm going to grab. I'm like, what was that? Just one second. So I'm doing a collaboration with a yarn dyer that's kind of different. She did like an open call for people to work up patterns in her new yarn line. And so she just like gathered all of us in a chat group, and we were all chit-chatting and sharing back and forth. And one of the ladies in there is a project bag maker. And I had kind of like, you know me, I'm nosy. I kind of snooped in on everybody who was in the group just to see like who they were and what they did. And when I saw her bags, I had actually looked at them. And I had kind of been like, she was a little low on stock, and I'd kind of been like, there's some cute things, but nothing that's like super calling to me. And then she was like, in the chat group about the yarn, she was like, hey guys, I'm going to do a restock. I want to give you all a little discount code, and just as like a thank you and a, you know, fun to be here together sort of thing. So she started sharing. She said, I'm going to share my new stuff that's going up in my stories. And so she started sharing, and I was like, oh, that bag. I want that bag. And I looked, and it wasn't in the shop, and I was like, dang it, maybe it already sold. But then in the chat group for the yarn, this is a long story, sorry. In the chat group for the yarn, somebody else had said, have you already posted those bags? Did they sell out? And she was like, no, something happened, and I couldn't get them posted. If you see one you want, let me know. And I was like, me, one I want. So we worked together, and she was lovely, and she sent me, no, I purchased this project bag. So when I got home from my travels, it was waiting for me, and I was kind of like, what is this? And then I opened it up, and I was like, oh, but I didn't open it all the way. So I thought this would be fun for us to open together. And look, it's like a little present, and it says for Sarah, which is so sweet. So this is K by K Collections, and again, of course, I'll link below. But let's see. It's in a plastic bag. So sorry. That's noisy. Oh, here we go. There's a little card in here that says thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so really nice, really nice note. And this is Kristen is the owner and maker. And this is her business card. All right, let's open it up. Let's see this project bag. All right, untie the beautiful bow. And then little stickers close like an envelope here. I'm not going to be careful. I'm just tearing it apart. Oh! It's so good. Oh my gosh, you guys. First of all, I love her little tag there. That's so pretty. Always put a tag on your stuff, makers, because then I walk away and forget exactly who I got this from. And then I go look, and if there's nothing on it, I don't know who I got it from. Okay, so love this purple flower pattern. This bottom is like that waxed canvas, so it's super sturdy. And then it's got a handle, which I love because, you know, I love to take 800 things with me when I go places. So having a sturdy handle to put over my wrist is perfection. The inside, you're really going to be able to see. Oh, there, that's actually not bad. Is this gorgeous navy fabric. There's pockets, or I guess there's a pocket. There's like a little clippy-do for your stuff. And then it's a little drawstring with this cute little bead to hold it closed. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. I'm in love. Maybe I need to start a new project just to use this. Yeah, new project. That's just what I need. So that is K by K Collections. Yay! So fun. Okay, and then my mug here is from Deer Creek Pottery with my little birdie. I've shared him before. I was like, I need a big cup of coffee today. This is a big coffee cup. Did I order another coffee mug while I was in Arizona? Yes, it did. It hasn't shipped yet. I'm trying to be patient because as a former Etsy product seller myself, I know that, things happen and life is going on and you can't always just bebop to the post office for one sale. So I'm excited for that. So I'll share that for you. I'll share that with you when it comes. And then let's talk announcements. WIP Wrap Up. It is, when this airs, the 31st of, I almost said July, January, which means that WIP Wrap Up is officially done. WIP Wrap Up was so much fun. You guys, I make exactly $0 off of WIP Wrap Up, but I make so many friends that it is 100% worth it. So, I am going to have a live where I talk about how WIP Wrap Up went and share the final number of WIPs that were wrapped up. So keep an eye out for that. Once I have it up, I'll link it below. I'd like to commit to having it up before this video, but I just don't know. So we'll see. I have a new event coming in February, and guys, I am stupidly excited about this. Mostly because of the name. I don't know about you, but I can't get rid of yarn. I have lots of bits and bobs all over the place, leftover little things. I try really hard when I design a pattern to have a little leftover because I don't want you panicking at the end of your project. And since we all crochet slightly differently, even if you meet gauge, you might somehow end up using a little more yarn. And I never want you panicking or buying a whole nother skein when you just need like a few yards of it. So I often have little bits of, and sometimes lots of bits, left over from designs that I've made or projects that I've done. And I keep them all. I can't bear to get rid of them. And so I thought it would be so much fun to have a scrappy cow. So, and this is what I'm most excited for. We're going to call it, Who Gives a Scrap? You guys, I think I'm so funny. Okay, so that's coming in a couple weeks. So I just wanted to be on your radar. Gather up your scraps and bits of yarn, and it's just going to be fun. So I have a few patterns of my own that I've changed, that I've worked up in kind of a scrappy manner. We're going to talk about different ways to use scraps of yarn. We're going to talk about how to wind yarn when you've got just a little bit left over. I have lots of things planned, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So mark your calendar. Last week I was supposed to release my Advent shawl. I really wanted to get that released in January, but frankly, family comes first, and so there was no releasing a brand new pattern from a different state. So I didn't. And so I'm hoping to release my Advent shawl next Thursday. So that would be like February somethingeth. February 9th, maybe? Wait, if Wednesday is the 1st. No, if Wednesday is the 31st, then Thursday would be the 1st, and 7 days after that would be the 8th. Right? Somewhere around there. I'm going to release the Lumi Shawl, which is my first pattern designed specifically for an Advent kit. Would also be a great scrappy project. And you guys, I'm in love with it. I am so in love. snapped some pictures before I left, because one of the things I could do was edit pictures while I was away. I was gonna say abroad, but I didn't go that far. Um, and I'm so excited about it. So if you would like the best discount code, sign up for my email list. It's a coming. All right, let's talk some questions. If you have a question, I would love for you to fill out the form. That just keeps it all organized for me, which is super helpful. Below or next to this video, depending on what device you're watching on, and if they've changed the format, because they do that all the time, there's the title of the video. Below that, there's like a little tiny bit of, of a description, and then you hit more. And there's a lot more. Part of that more is a link to ask questions. It's really simple. I'm just saying, what's your question? And you just type in a question. It's all anonymous, so unless you tell me that it was your question, I don't know whose question it was. You're welcome to ask anything about yarn, crochet, knitting, being a designer, managing life, teaching and designing with kids. Any of those things are welcome. I'm also going to take this quick opportunity to ask you to like this video and subscribe. Just a little plug in there. It would mean a lot to me. This is, don't tell other social media. This is my favorite platform. I love being on here. I love chatting with you on here. I love making these videos. So I would love for this to continue to grow. And if you enjoy it, you can let me know by liking and subscribing. And also sharing. If you want to share with a friend who might enjoy it, that would be lovely. All right, question number 1. This is a follow-up from a question that was asked last week. The person who asked is a good friend of mine. We met via pattern testing and whatnot, and she's become just like, she's the best. Yeah, she's the best. So you know who you are. Thanks for being the best. So her question was the washing your makes question from last week. And so she had a follow-up, and I was like, that's perfect. Let's answer it this week. So the question last week was, what's the best way to wash your handmaids? You can go listen to my very long description, not very long, but my preference and my beliefs in last week's episode. And so her question then was, when washing your sweaters, do they need to block and pin to shape again, or can you simply lay the sweater, or can you simply lay on the sweater dryer that I described and will they hold their initial blocked in the past shape? So that's a great question. So first of all, last week I described that one of the ways that I have found, they were asking like, how do you get things to dry faster? And I bought, I wonder if I linked that. I kind of don't think I did. I should go back and do that. I bought a sweater dryer on Amazon, and what it is it's like 3 or 4 tiers of mesh, big mesh ovals. And the reason that I like that is that I can lay my sweaters out on there and they're getting full air circulation. When you lay a sweater on blocking mats, the top dries first and then the bottom moisture has to come up through the top to fully dry, because the blocking mats aren't porous, so they aren't absorbing or drying off any of the moisture. So the openness of those drying sweater dryers, which is what they're intended for, really helps things dry faster because you get full circulation. So when you wash an item, will it retain its blocked shape? The sad news is no. So I'm sorry. I know that kind of stinks. So, sorry, I'm like fidgety today. So my back is kind of bothering me. That's probably why. So when you get something wet, again, you're going to need to reshape it. How much you reshape it depends on your personal preference. So, I've heard people say, like, when I first make a pair of socks, I block it on sock blockers so that it looks really pretty and nice, so that I can feel like, I've accomplished it and it looks gorgeous, and I take, pretty pictures and whatnot. And then after that, I just wash them and lay them flat to dry, like no shaping, no prettiness. But a sock, once you put it on your foot, it's fully shaped to what it's going to be. But like a sweater or a shawl or something isn't shaped by your body, and so it's going to need to be shaped by the way you're drying it. So I would say there's a happy medium here. When you very first, just like when you very first make a pair of socks, you want that final project to look really pretty, laid flat probably, and you just have a lot of care put into it because you finally finished it. After you've worn it for a little while, there may not be the need or the desire to have it be perfect anymore. And depending on the ease of it and what it is, so like you may say, the first time I officially blocked this shawl, I laid it all out and then I pinned everything in place. And if it's a shawl that doesn't have a lot of lace or like a fancy border or something, you may say that if I have to wash it after that, I'm just gonna lay it flat and I'm not gonna pin a whole bunch of stuff again. And that's fine. If it does have a more distinct border, you may decide, last time I spent hours putting 30 million pins in this, and this time I'm just going to shape everything and call it good. And with a sweater, it may kind of depend on how much ease there is. So if there's not much ease, you may just be able to kind of lay it out and then know that as you pull it on, your body is going to shape the sweater. But if it's a sweater that has a lot of positive ease, you want to make sure that you are getting it to the dimensions you want it in. So you don't want it, if it's oversized, you don't want it to be like crazy oversized because you just kind of like flopped it out and didn't pay attention, or like the hemline is wavy because you didn't lay that out. So I would say it's kind of your choice how much you want to shape. It is still going to hold the shape it dries in, so you do want to be mindful of that. Oh, and then I was like, there's one more thing I was going to say. And then the other thing I want you to think about is that we wash our clothes too much. Do you need to wash your underwear every day? Yes. If you go out and get all sweaty in something, should you wash it? Yes. But if you wore a sweater a couple hours to church or a pair of jeans for the day, do you need to throw those in your hamper? I'm saying no. And you can think I'm gross. It's fine. But it's hard. It's hard on your clothes to be washed that often. They're not going to last as long. And B, instead of avoiding wearing your handmaids, wear them more before you wash them. Do make sure, though, that when you're putting them away for a season, so like as it gets warm for spring and you're going to put away, maybe the majority of your heavy sweaters, you may leave out like a cardigan or two or something. I don't know, whatever you do. Before you put sweaters kind of away for the season, I would definitely give them a good wash, because again, moths are attracted to the skin and oils from our body in our woolens, and you don't want moths. You do not want moths. So just something to think about. Question number 2. All right, I was like, this is a fun little easy question. And then I got thinking about it more and I'm like, oh gosh. So the question is, could you share some of your Tunisian crochet projects? Well, yeah, of course I can. So I started thinking about my Tunisian projects and I was like, well, I don't have very many. And then as I started writing them all down, I was like, gosh, I have more than I thought I did. So let me tell you a little story of how it all began. So many years ago, actually, I think it might have been 2020 because this was pandemical times. Emily of Hooked Hazel reached out to me. She was doing a pattern test and she was doing it in conjunction with Montana Crochet, and they were making kits. That's the word I'm looking for. They're making kits to go with the pattern, and so they wanted to see each kit worked up in the pattern. So she was hand selecting pattern testers so that they could be gifted the yarn and they knew that they would get good pictures and like that they would follow through. So she reached out to me and she said, hey, I have this pattern. It's Tunisian crochet. Would you do it? And I said, I've never done Tunisian crochet. Are you sure about this? And she was like, yes, you can do this. So my very first Tunisian crochet project I ever tried was a test in the round, which maybe isn't the first thing I would recommend for the general peoples, but it worked and it wasn't hard and I fell in love and I was like, yes, please, more Tunisian crochet. So then I decided that I wanted to create a pattern that would allow you to just like dip your toe in. If you were curious about Tunisian crochet, but you were like, I don't know, not quite ready to commit, I wanted a small project that would teach you from the very beginning how to work Tunisian crochet, and I wanted you to be able to do it with things you already had. So I created the beginner Tunisian necklace. And I'm just going to put pictures up because I started to try to find all of my samples and I don't have some of them. A few of them are at Casting On. I don't think I've actually lost or given away any of them, but some of them are hanging out at Casting On. So I'll just put up pictures because you'll be able to see them better anyway. So my beginner Tunisian necklace, it's a flat panel that you work that you seam up and turn into this necklace. It's super cute. It's one of my most popular patterns and it is a great way. Obviously, it was designed to teach Tunisian crochet and for you to not have to buy any extra hooks or fanciness. You can just do it with, because it's a small panel, you can just do it with a hook that isn't ergonomic and you're good to go. So that was my first pattern. And then I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what order the other patterns came in, except for the one that I did last. My friend Amber, convinced me that my beginner Tunisian necklace needed a beginner Tunisian bracelet to go along with it. And so I designed that. It's like a bangle bracelet, which is so fun, but it's really lightweight. Great for if you have kids because you're not going to like whack them with the big bracelet, but it's still like chunky and fun. There's cording inside of it that helps it hold its shape. And both the beginner Tunisian necklace and beginner Tunisian bracelet can be made without special hooks. And the way that they're constructed is great for hiding like little imperfections as you're learning. So lots of fun. This is one of the things that I don't have a sample of. One of the next things that I designed was my full tilt beanie, and that was for the Hat Not Hate campaign. The Crochet Miss crew did we used to do a crochet along where we would each design a hat and then encourage people to donate to Hat Not Hate. And so I made it in blue and then donated it to Hat Not Hate, and I've never made another sample, so maybe I should do that. But that's a fun one. That's my only hat. That's if you want to try decreasing, that's a fun one to try. It's a real cozy hat. I also like that the brim of it is a little different. So lots of fun. Then this year I'm going to try to go a little in order of where I have them written down here, or I'm going to forget some and not come back to them. I also have a beginner Tunisian bag, and that was one of my most recent releases, so you probably maybe recognize that one. It's a first working in the round project is what it's designed for. So you maybe tried Tunisian crochet before, but you really want to try it in the round. I had a lot of people tell me that I had several people ask me, could I make a Tunisian crochet in the round pattern, because they really wanted to learn to work in the round, but they hadn't found a good starting pattern or good tutorials on it. And they really liked my patterns and tutorials, which is really so nice of them. And I put it off for years, which is really not so nice of me. But I finally did it. And so that'll teach you 3 stitches. It's maybe slightly more advanced than my beginner Tunisian necklace and my beginner Tunisian bracelet, but we're really stepping you through there, all the videos. And they're really pretty. And that also has my magic no-sew lining situation going on, which I'm absolutely in love with. What else? Okay, I also designed, and now having designed my beginner Tunisian bag, I'm like, I need to go revisit this one. You guys, if I had all the time in the world, I already had another notions bag, which I called Not Your Nana's Notions Bag. Sassy. And it had 2 styles. It had where you could sew in a zipper and then a flap that you could use for a closure. But I'm thinking it also needs the no-sew liner situation going on. Don't you think? So I should remake that and add that to it, because that would be fun. And then, you guys, this is one of my least sold patterns, but it is one of my favorite patterns. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to go back and remake it. Maybe I'm not sure I did a tutorial on the fanciness of it. So maybe I need that too. Anyways, so it's my On Cloud Wine gift bag. And it's a little cover for a wine bottle, so that if you're going to give it as a gift, the Crochet Miss crew did a gift guide a couple years in a row, and this was my contribution to the gift guide. The idea was that you could add a handmade element to an easy gift, like hostess gift that you're going to give, or a housewarming gift. And my favorite thing about this is that open mesh panel in the middle of it. It's a lot of fun how that's made. So I don't know, maybe I need to do, I don't know, guys, endless pattern design ideas. I'm like, I need a cozy and I need a cowl and another hat, so that I can have like the 3 tiers to get people all the way through. And then I'm like, maybe I need to make another cowl in that, with that idea of the mesh. And, you know, if I had all the time in the world, which you don't. So that one's a lot of fun if you're looking for something unique to make. One of my earlier patterns, again, was my 2-tone Tunisian tote. One of the reasons I think that Tunisian is awesome for a bag is that the fabric is so thick and sturdy. It really holds up well in a bag. So that one's a lot of fun. That's a super simple one. So if you're like, I'd like Tunisian crochet, or like a simple kind of mindless project to take on a trip, or to do, you know, you got little tiny kids and you need something you could easily, excuse me, pick up and set down, that's a great one. What else do I have? Oh, my Tunisian fade scarf. You guys, I love this scarf. It's a simple scarf. The cool element of it is using Tunisian crochet to fade between colors. It's so fun. So fun. Another technique that I'm like, I should make more things in that. If only I had the time. So super cozy scarf, because again, that Tunisian fabric is nice and thick. And then I think the last thing that I have is my Kellen collection, which that was that my first mystery cow? I think it might have been. So I did I did a class in person and a class online, and the idea of this scarf, the Kellen scarf, was that we worked over 6 weeks, and each week we learned a new stitch or technique, and at the end you had a scarf. It was so much fun. This is another one that my local yarn shop has hanging out at their store to share with people. And so we did this in October, but because it was 6 weeks, we didn't start at the beginning of October. We must have started mid-October, and it went October, November, and a little bit into December. And so the week of American Thanksgiving, I decided we're going to take we had to take a break because I couldn't do my in-person class because everybody was Thanksgiving-inging. And so I was like, we're going to take a break there. But then also, like, people are busy, especially we ladies. I hate to say it, traditionally are the ones making the turkey and the whatnot and hosting the things and cleaning everything. And so I was like, we're just going to take a break that week. But people were flying through things and having such a good time. I wanted that if they wanted to do something that week but had their scarf done, that they could have a little project. And so I designed the Kellen headband, which used the same yarn. And if they had the yardage that I had, they had enough to make the scarf and the headband. And then at the end, as a little thank you to everybody who was so wonderful in that, I did a mitts pattern to go along with it. So I have the Kellen scarf, the Kellen headband, and the Kellen mitts, and they're all just so much fun. So those are all of my Tunisian crochet patterns. In the spring, a ways away, like Mayish, I think, I'm going to be part of a Tunisian crochet summit. And there's going to be lots of great information there. So if you don't want to miss out on that, I highly recommend joining my email list for sure. I'll probably talk about it on here as well. But there's going to be lots of great Tunisian crochet information there if that's something you'd like to expand your skills on. So there you go. I'm always here. I'm a one-woman show still. So if you have questions and need help or have a request or need troubleshooting with a pattern, when you reach out, I'm the person who you're reaching out to, and I'm here to tell you, I'm here to help. So if you need anything related to any of those patterns, there's going to be a plethora of links in the description below. Please check those out. Yeah, I'd love to see your amazing Tunisian crochet work. And I would say if you are a proficient crocheter, you're not going to have any trouble picking up Tunisian crochet. It's a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining me today. I am happy to be home and chatting with you again. I hope you had a lovely time. One more quick reminder to like, subscribe, turn on notifications so that you won't miss me next week. Thank you so much for joining me, and happy crafting!